It's trading week at CoinDesk. We've got a collection of features, op-eds, and research on CoinDesk.com, as well as interviews right here on CoinDesk TV, all dedicated to the topic of trading crypto. And joining us with more is Noelle Acheson. You know her, we love her. Former head of research at CoinDesk and sister company Genesis Trading, and analyst for the Crypto is Macro Now newsletter. Hello there, Noelle. Always great to see you. So, Noelle, you've got a new opinion piece on CoinDesk.com titled "Why Trading is Essential for Crypto." Tell us all about it. We want to know.
Hi, Christine. So great to be with you. Thank you. The point that I was trying to make was that trading is often seen as totally external to the crypto market overall. And it isn't. True traders are there exclusively to make a profit, and much of crypto development is powered by people who are there for the bigger picture. We care about the overall impact on the global economy, on human empowerment, and a lot of traders do care about that. Also, I'm focusing just on the function here. That traders just care about price is itself a narrow viewpoint that overlooks the impact that the value that traders can bring to the market as a whole, and the significance of the market for the entire ecosystem. It's about much more than bringing in more liquidity via more market participants, although that is indeed very important. It's about that liquidity encouraging the development of more sophisticated market infrastructure, which in turn makes pricing more reliable for investors, but also for token issuers, for project builders. And it's about diversifying the use cases, if you will, and the potential impact of crypto assets. And it's even before we get into issues such as increasing the size of the market, which enhances its resilience to adverse regulation, as well as its potential for helping to improve traditional markets. I know I threw a lot in there, but this whole traders don't really care, they're just here for the money is incorrect. They are a very valuable resource for the development for the market as a whole. Sure, they could be trading absolutely anything, but we should appreciate that they are here trading crypto. That does help us all.
All right, so they're the lifeblood of the financial system in the crypto world. Okay, and one point I kind of caught on to was like, we need traders, but do we need the bro culture?
The bro culture is obviously very irritating to many, but let's face it, Christine, there are corners of any part of the crypto ecosystem that has a culture that perhaps doesn't appeal to everyone. And in the end, we are all here for diversity, right? We don't have to just limit this to people whose values and whose priorities and whose attitudes we like. It's about the diversity.
Noelle, I think you're bringing up such an important point, because what we're starting to see all over the world are governments sort of making this distinction between traders, which they often refer to as speculators, and kind of everything else, right? We're seeing this in China, which sort of embraces blockchain, but they crack down on trade. I think Singapore is starting to make this distinction as well. So so can you do that? I mean, can you have what governments are trying to do, which is crypto without trade? Because we are really, I think we're just going to see this more and more, right? They're going to say, oh, we like blockchain technology, we like the future of metaverse, we like NFTs, but we don't like speculation, or we don't like gambling, which often is another way of saying trade.
Emily, that's such a brilliant point. And yes, you're right. Often trading is equated with gambling. It is equated with speculation. This has such a pejorative tone to it, doesn't it? Who wants speculators, right? But that overlooks the fact that speculation actually helps keep the market honest. Speculators do trade on information that is perhaps not available or obvious to everyone. And in so doing, they bring that information to light and they keep the market honest. They keep pricing relevant. And that is a much bigger deal than most realize. What many regulators are against, if I understand correctly, and you follow this much more closely than I do, is that they are against the market manipulation. And let's face it, we've all seen many cases where speculators do move prices adversely on information that isn't necessarily public. That is bad, and that should be stamped out. But speculation as a whole is not in itself intrinsically bad, and traders are not all speculators. Many of them are just trading on very short-term signals that they see in the market, and in so doing, making pricing more reliable. That's important.
And Noelle, I know you sort of do, you look at all sorts of data. I mean, what is kind of the state of trading right now? Because if you look at the numbers, they've been kind of flat for a while. Is that because there's just not a lot of trading happening? And is that sort of part of the problem, that just nothing is really happening? How big a part of the story is that?
Exactly, Emily. You hit the nail on the head there. It is a very big part of the story, but it's an interesting part of the story, and it's not necessarily what it seems. Stepping back a second, traders bring in liquidity, which in theory is going to bring down volatility, right? Now, we've seen crypto volumes plummet ever since the June crash, and the volatility has plummeted also, which is slightly counterintuitive. Lower volumes should mean volatility goes up, right? The sign that we're seeing there is that traders have stepped away. They stepped away because we know that crypto assets are particularly volatile, and in such uncertain times, and we can all agree that these are particularly uncertain times, we have to be really brave to take on extra volatility when even you have to admit you have no idea what's going on. So the volatility is what has brought the volatility down, in my opinion, because the traders are saying, I'm just going to wait until there are perhaps more clear signals. We're starting to see some of that now. Volatility is ticking up again. It'll become more apparent as the averages smooth out. But the rally that we've had over the past few days is we're going to see making traders sit up again, think, okay, maybe now is the time to get back in. Traders have been stepping away. This has unintuitively brought volatility down, and that is just one of the many things that makes crypto markets even more interesting.